Okay. So now we have Maniacal42 here running Gargoyle's Quest 2, the Demon Darkness. Any percent for NES? Take it away, good sir. You got the wheel.
All right, wonderful.
You got the wheel.
All right, wonderful. Thank you for the introduction. I am Maniacal, and I'm going to be running Gargoyle's Quest 2, the Demon Darkness today, which is a late-gen Nintendo title. You can see it from 1992. I'm leaving up the title screen because it's sweet. And it's a really fun run. You may recognize some of the sprites, Capcom game. And I first got into it from actually the Big 20, which is a marathon or a race of 20 consecutive games that's done. And so I've been running it for a little over a year or so now. But awesome game. We're running on the Japanese version. So technically I'm running Red Aramer 2. But this game is sweet and has awesome tunes, so I hope y'all enjoy it. I'm going to get ready to go, so when I clear this text box, we'll be good to go for time. So, are we ready to kick this off?
Let's get it.
Alright, let's do it in 3, 2, 1, and go. So there's a lot of text mashing in this run, which is why we use the Japanese version over the English version. So you're just going to hear me slamming on my controller here for a lot of the run. But whoa, apparently I had a right input there. But basically, we are a baby gargoyle, a fledgling gargoyle, and we're going to go to a training realm down here so that we can get what I believe is the Specter's Fingernail. We have to recover a vial here from this world, and then once we have said vial, we can go back and talk to the king, and he'll say, yeah, you're worthy, you can go and journey, and all's well. And we'll be able to go, and we're going to try and save the Ghoul Realm. That's going to be our quest today. That is the quest of the Gargoyle. That's the spoiler here. But we got the vial, and we get out, and oh no, this fella here, this Frankenstein-looking sprite, is going away, and he's letting us know that everything that we just knew is now destroyed and gone. And so now we're into the first sort of dungeon space. We're getting good RNG. Those are some fast spawns on those ghouls. There's a lot of RNG in this game, so it's entirely possible that we PB this run, but it's also entirely possible that we just get bodied by RNG. Right now we're getting very, very lucky. These ghosts are popping up very quickly. They generate a lot of lag, and so a lot of what we're going to be trying to do is kill enemies for purpose of lag reduction in a lot of these screens. And we're going to hope this guy flies fast, and he does. What a good boy. And we are on our way. We're going to make our way through a number of stages. All of them have kind of the same sort of side-scrolling platform thing, and then there's an overworld, which is more of a top-down view, but really it's just a collection of levels like this. We're going to come down here, go to the left, and there's an extra health vial that's a safety. That gives us an extra hit, which is very, very key for some of the boss fight strats that I want to use for marathon safety. Normally we could deboost up some spikes and save that, but today we're going to get the extra health point. It only costs about 10 seconds, and it gives us an extra hit for the entire duration of the run. And so we're going to come up on the first boss here. His name is Nagus. And he can be a real jerk, and he's being a real jerk right now. Yeah, he's giving some pretty miserable RNG. Okay, that's what we want to see from him. He can't do anything until that attack leaves the screen. And yeah, he should be dead. And so we've defeated him. We're going to go talk to the king. The king is the only one who survived. He's going to let us know that we should head west. To the next town over. And by west, he actually means east, because there's a bunch of mountains in the way, and so we have to go to the east so we can go west. But yeah, we see he's perishing, and we are now on our own, but we have the Specter's Fingernail, and so all's well. The various upgrades you get are basically being able to jump higher and fly longer. And then we're going to move pretty quickly through the overworld. I actually really love how quickly our Gargoyle, Firebrand, moves through the overworld. And we are getting some marathon-friendly RNG here. All these things are spawning really great. So this is fantastic, and then we're going to get to our next little side scroller here. So once we're through this, you can see we can jump a little bit higher now. We can still fly about the same, but we're going to get these hovering ability and jumping ability upgrades throughout these stages, and then we're going to do a deboost down here off of a little pillar of flame. It looks very dangerous, it's actually very safe. Attributed to Spiderweb, another runner of this game. It's a very cool strat, and we're going to go into this town just to get a checkpoint here, because we're going to death warp back to this later. So we talk to this person, they tell us some numbers. My immersion is very ruined, but that's okay. They give us a passcode, and we're going to be able to death warp back to that exact location later, because the king in that town is incapacitated, and we need to obtain a relic called the Gremlin Stick in order to help him. And then this is probably the first stage that can go wrong, I'd say, in this run. This is the River of Flame, and there's a series of platforms we're going to have to jump on here. And depending on what sort of RNG we get, they can just keep moving, or they can choose to stop and shoot. And if they do that at the wrong times, it can really turn into a bit of a harrowing experience here on the River of Flame. So far, it's being actually kind of a jerk, but we're getting through it okay. And yeah, we're going to be fine. So that can go quite badly. But we're making our way up to the first dungeon here, the first big dungeon, to fight Death Balloon is our first boss name, actually. But there's a very tight cycle at the start of this stage that we're going to try to make, and I don't... Oh, we got very, very lucky. We got incredibly lucky, and I actually made a very risky jump there that I shouldn't have gone for.
High risk, high reward. Let's get some hype for this here. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was very, very lucky, actually. But these platforms are just going to move around and turn around, and it's being friendly for the marathon. It wants me to put down a PB for y'all right now, which I hadn't played this in a little while, and decided to derust it because I just think it's such a cool game to showcase, and it's a little underappreciated as a lot of the late-gen Nintendo titles are. Just not a lot of people picked them up and knew about them. So I wanted to showcase this and decided to derust it for this event, and I've been on some good paces, but I haven't PB'd recently, so here we're going to do some deboosting up some spikes to save a little bit of time. And when we get to the top here, we're going to take an extra hit from some spikes, and I'm actually going to play it a little safe, lose a little bit of time. We're actually going to death warp to the top of this ledge, and that gives us a free health refill. And we got some bad spawn there, so we're just gonna take it a little easy. And we're going to have to try and dodge these various sort of pikes that come out of the ground. And we've made it through cleanly. There's an extra health we could grab over here, but we actually don't need it. So we're in good shape, and we're going to be able to go down and fight Death Balloon. So Death Balloon, normally we would take a death warp, or not a death warp, but just an intentional death at the start of this fight. As a bit of a marathon safety, I'm going to not do that. I'm going to preserve the extra life. It's going to cost us a few extra seconds to burn that life off later. But a lot of these boss fights, there's actually really nice, easy, fun strats. Okay, like there. Death Balloon, I thought I should have had him there. Unfortunately, he had one hit left. And we had to sort of wait him out. But actually, we did just gold that split, so lucky platforms at the beginning of the Death Balloon stage. And we are on a nice little run right now. We're going to go over and talk to some kind lady in a cave, and she's going to give us the Candle of Darkness, which is going to let us get extra hover ability and basically make one of the stupidest vanilla jumps that I've ever seen in any Nintendo game. So if we don't talk to this person and get the ability to fly a little better, there's absolutely no hope for us making this jump. And as it is, I just want everyone to appreciate how stupid this jump is that's coming up, because it's really, really silly, frankly. So we're gonna mash through this text. This is a large part of why we run the Japanese version. It saves about 2 minutes of text mashing over the English version, which is just unreal. But we got the Candle of Darkness, we used it to make the room dark, and we're going to go and talk to another ghoul who's basically gatekeeping and saying, hey, did you get that thing back in the cave? Because if you can't fly better, you just have no chance at making this next jump. So just appreciate how late we have to jump and how close we are. If we touch this fire, we die immediately. So we have to start hovering late, and then kind of stutter our hover to barely make that jump. That is actually intended. Good job, Nintendo devs, on making a game that is very, very beatable. I see Yay Death Balloon in the chat, and Death Balloon is the enemy, Lyra. We are not rooting for Death Balloon today. But we're going to menu. We also got the Fingernail, which is our level 2 weapon, so we're going to menu over to the Fingernail because we want that for the Sand Frog dungeon here. These enemy boss names are just awesome. We have Death Balloon, now we have Sand Frog. These are actual canonical names, by the way. These are not just me making up things because I don't speak Japanese.
By the way. 12 out of 10.
They are 12 out of 10 names for sure. So there's sand currents here, and oh, we got bad RNG there. That guy can either spawn or not spawn. We're gonna try and beat this bat. Oh, the bat beat us. I was a little off in my my hover, but yeah, the sand currents either push you or pull you. We're going to try and focus on ones that pull us forward and spend time in those and avoid bad fish patterns. Avoid the ones that pull us backwards, as speedrunners would want to do. But so far, other than a little bit of bad RNG on the fish, things are going okay. We got 2 genies, double genies, not so great. But this fight can be either really good or really bad. Okay, so we want him spending a lot of time jumping. We don't want him spending a lot of time doing this. Whoops. But we want to kind of trap him under this bridge so that while he hops, we can shoot him. And I think he should be almost dead, so I'm just going to try and kind of gun him out here. And yeah, we got a good little fight there with the old sand frog. And unfortunately, we're going to have a little bit of a slower death warp here. Yeah, our wings are leveled up. We have the gremlin stick now. So now we need to take it back to that king where we got that checkpoint the first time. So we're just going to throw ourselves in that instant kill fire because it's a pretty efficient way to end your gargoyle. And we're going to have to do that twice because we didn't burn off the life on Death Balloon. But we're going to wake up at that lovely sprite that told us numbers earlier. And we're going to be able to walk right on over to the king in this town who was paralyzed and needs the medicine of the gremlin stick. So we have to whack him with the gremlin stick, and then he'll wake up. And then, once he wakes up, he'll say, oh, I know where you need to go, because we're getting fetch quested really, really hard. And he's going to delete a rock. There's a rock barrier west of this town that was in the way, and is no longer in the way now. So he got rid of the rock, and we can walk over here and head on up to talk to the king of another town. But the spoiler is that king is an imposter. He's a fake king, so we have to mash no instead of mashing yes against him. Otherwise, we'll just keep talking to him forever. But first, we got the power of Mega Man here. We got some Mega Man 2 item going on. We can now make tornadoes that allow us to jump and cheat our way vertically, in addition to our level 2 wing. So Capcom was full of fine ideas. for Nintendo games. And,
do we have second
sorry?
info by chance?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So for our charity for this marathon, the Equal Justice Initiative is committed to ending mass incarceration and excessive punishment in the United States, to challenging racial and economic injustice, and to protecting basic human rights of the most vulnerable people in American society. Your donations are helping us exponentially to help us reach our goal over here. So every little bit counts. So let's get those donations in, guys.
Alright, and this boss strat can be really rough. Okay, we got him to fly horizontally. We should be good. Yeah, we got that quick kill. That's a pretty tough quick kill. So that was the Imposter King fight. Really cool strat there, where you can just lure him left, lure him right, and use a little bit of extra health. And there's a marathon safety checkpoint that we can take there. But you know what? I'm feeling it. So we're just going to go right on into the Twins dungeon without the marathon safety. So this is where runs come to die, I guess. And we're gonna wait on that B there. So at the end of this dungeon there is the Twins fight, which for runners of this game is notorious for killing runs. So I'm just gonna hope that the Twins fight is nice today. Had a little bit of trouble with that B, but I think we should be okay. I'm gonna try and get on a top route here. And we should be good now. Oops. So at the start of this fight, I am going to burn off 1 life. Normally you'd burn off 2 here because it's the quickest place in the game to die, but this fight can go really, really badly. And so I'm only gonna burn off 1, and we're just gonna hope that the Twins are kind. Oh gosh, well, this is a bad start.
I'm just going to basically repeat what Chad said earlier. So what Chad was trying to say, because apparently his output is quite low on your end. I don't know if everyone's hearing me. I'm going to try on my end with
Oh gosh.
my mic boosted a little bit higher. So basically, we're supporting the Equal Justice Initiative over the weekend, which is committed to ending mass incarceration and excessive punishment in the United States, to challenging racial and economic injustice, and to protecting basic human rights for the most vulnerable people in American society. So every donation counts. I'm sorry, and we've got one milestone that we need to reach before the start of Arcus Odyssey in order to unlock a 2-player co-op run instead of a single-player one. We're at $545.69 right now. As soon as we reach $750, 2-player co-op run for Arcus Odyssey will happen. We're just a little bit over $200 away from it, so let's do it.
Yeah, let's get that incentive. I'm going to be donating for each death that I take. But we have here the Scyther Fight. Totally not Scyther, totally not a Pokemon. But another one where we have a really cool quick kill. And we're going to be headed into the Doppelganger dungeon. So I will see if I can get some volume adjustments done on my end in between screens here. So my apologies.
It's all good. You'll just have to crank up my volume just a little bit louder, and it should be good.
I know what source I'll need to get to. I'll just have to find the old broadcasting software window, and should be good to go. Whoa. And not like where that bee was. So I think we got this. There's a 3-pixel window where you can get that hover clean without a wall jump there. And I get to hold up for a little bit, so yeah, I tried my best. And let's see if we can get that volume fixed. But we're going through a labyrinth of mirrors now. And at the end of this is the Doppelganger, who mirrors you. most of this dungeon is avoiding these blue spikes that kill you instantly. And then also finding your way through this maze. And trying to kill that ghost a little better than that, because that is a laggy ghost. Thankfully, you know, speedrunning, we know how to get through the maze and have some strats to make some of the screens a little more efficient. But it still is a bit of a hectic dungeon. If you take the wrong door, you can end up getting pushed all the way back to the beginning, basically. And we definitely want to avoid that, but we're on the right path. I didn't take any wrong doors. I actually took a wrong door in one of my practice runs last night. It felt real bad. But this guy, he'll turn into us, and if we shoot him when he's us, it's gonna hurt. And now I'm just gonna try and use some deboosts here. Whoops. To try and get some shots off a little faster. Should be just, wow, one hit. Ain't that a shame. But yeah, we're on a good pace. So we're going to get a little bit of deep lore here. I don't actually know what's going on, but we're basically being told that we're powering up and we have to go and talk to the king and queen in another area of the map, Verona and Rushafell. And once we talk to them, this king will deign to give us the ability to delete rocks. And then once we can delete rocks, we can proceed to the next dungeon, which, before we do that, we absolutely need to get a checkpoint in this room. Because if we don't, it's a major time loss. We have to talk to the NPC here on the lower right part, and this NPC will give us a checkpoint. And now we're green lighted to go on. And there's a maze of caves. Only one of these is going to let us through to the other area. It's always the same one, thankfully. It's not like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where we needed to manipulate RNG to make that work out okay.
We have time for a quick donation.
Oops.
All right, we got
Absolutely.
a $5 donation from MasterFreds7 that says, "Speedrun train to the next milestone. I like trains." And remember, guys, for the Arcus Odyssey 2-player co-op, we are currently sitting at $550.69, where the goal is $750. I know if we get a $5 train going, we can make this happen. So let's go, chat.
Yeah, let's absolutely get that incentive. That 2-player co-op run sounds super, super sweet. I am excited to see it. And we are just going to be text mashing here for a minute. We're talking to one and getting one upgrade from one of these lords in this kingdom. And then we will get another upgrade from the other, and once we've basically completed this training, we'll be able to go back via Deathwork to that checkpoint we just got, talk to the first king, and then I'll say, okay, you did good. You done good, Gargoyle. And he'll let us delete rocks to go on to the final dungeon and become the Red Blaze, which is a very powerful Gargoyle indeed. So this is that text mashing that is 2 minutes between the US and Japanese version of this game. But we did it, and now we have to burn off 2 lives here. So this is why we would have burnt off 2 in the twins fight, normally, is to only have to burn off 1 here. But thankfully there's some instant death spikes, and it doesn't take too long. It's only about 10 extra seconds. So for a marathon, I am all about it. Having that little bit of extra safety. But once we get this next upgrade and get cleared to go through the rock here, we get to do 2 of the coolest, jammiest dungeons in the game. I love the tunes, and I love the dungeon layouts. They're super fun to execute. So hopefully they go well. And both of the bosses also have cool quick kill strats, so It's everything I want in a speedrun. But first we use the eraser, and we get through the block. Maybe it was the pencil eraser, I don't know. But now we get to enjoy these Goza tunes, and we have the ball. And the ball basically makes sticky surfaces on walls so that we can use it to wall jump up spikes without taking damage. Because, believe it or not, the game does not intend you to be deboosting up spikes. It actually wants you to be able to clear them. Whoa, hovered a little bit low there. That's okay though. We're gonna try and snipe that thing before it can shoot. We did. We're gonna try and snipe that guy as well. And we're a little low, so we're gonna have to use 2 sticky surfaces here to make it up. And then we're going to switch to Tornado. Do a high jump and a low jump, and we're gonna try and bring this ghost with us. If that ghost doesn't come with us... Whoops. Okay, we lost the ghost, unfortunately, which means we're going to get another ghost here, and we're going to have to go a little lower than I wanted. But that's a reasonable backup. We need this ghost with the fire lamp to help us out, basically. And I'm just going to deboost here, get that extra heart, and clear out these spikes. And then we're going to menu to this, and we're going to get to fight Goza. First we have to talk to him, and he says, "I'm really angry. You need to die, you need to not save the Ghoul Realm. Let's battle." But thankfully for us, there's a clean spot right here, and if we just stand here and mash, we'll be able to make it through. There's a little bit of a rhythm to the mash. We are about 30 seconds ahead of PB right now. So, still on a good run, didn't get punished for not taking that marathon safety. So if I can close out this next dungeon, where we have maximum wing and maximum jump, which just means maximum fun to me. We can hover infinitely, we can shoot some sort of awesome fireball that we're only going to actually use on the final boss. But, this is a really sweet dungeon. And it uses a lot of cool deboosts and a lot of cool strats. The first deboost is coming up down here. We're going to try and deboost right off these particles so we can stand on instant death spikes. And we got that one. There's another couple similar deboosts coming up, where we're going to be able to exploit the fact that we're actually going to get a full health refill coming up soon. So here's our second deboost for instant death spikes. We're going to need Tornado out of this. And we're going to try and beat some of these arrows up the wall. We take another deboost here so we can hover through those arrows. And we're going to come up here and get that free health refill. So if we die, that health refill is not going to be there anymore. And we're going to have to use alternate strats in the lower part of the level. But first time through, it's there. It's free. I'm going to use a little bit of a lower Tornado there. And we're through the worst part. But last night I blew about a -1 minute pace at this part of the run by hitting the very last instant kill spike that you can hit in the entire game. So we're going to try and not do that right now. Here it comes. Right here, if you push A too early, you get destroyed, is basically how it goes. But we didn't do it. And we're through, and we should be good to PB. As long as we can beat the boss. We have the Brager fight coming up, and then some tech smashing. So this, we're going to try and jump onto this platform at a low enough height that we'll deboost onto the top of it, come up to the ceiling, drop down, get in his face, and just mash the shot button. And we did it. This will PB.
Nice.
So we're going to get... That was a gold split there, actually. So PB hype in Marathon hype. We just have to mash some text here. A couple more text boxes, and time is coming up now. So that was Gargoyle's Quest 2. we get to enjoy this celebratory jam and credit session where we get to be introduced to all the awesome bosses like Death Balloon and Sandfrog by their proper names. But yeah, I don't know, what do y'all have the time as?
One second over here.
Okay.
Time is that's gonna be time, I guess. Yeah, it's call time. Or
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
you're not done yet, right?
No, time's
Gotcha.
been.
Let's see over here. I think one of our tech guys need to call for time, but I think it was a 28, 50 something. 28.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Okay. 28-33 from Lyra. I had 28-27 on my splits. I'm gonna call it 28-27.
Okay. 28-27. That is that's a PB for you, right?
Yeah, my previous time was a 29 flat. I really wanted that 28.
Kind of running back and forth, dealing with
Very nice. That's awesome, man. That is incredible.
Yeah, that is all good. But yeah, I wanted to take some time to thank NoReset for NoReset Speedrun for having me on and inviting me to showcase this awesome game in this marathon. This is really a sweet one. I definitely encourage anyone who's thinking about it to pick it up. It's a nice sort of mid-length speed run. Definitely, sort of a side game for me, not my main thing, but putting down a marathon PB, I am jazzed. So I'm donating for each death. I was going to donate $5 for each death, and so I took 2 intentional game overs, so that's going to be $30 that we are going to put toward killing the animals.
Oh, no.
Or meeting that co-op run incentive.
Whenever you donate, just a quick reminder, because a lot of people forget to do that.
But yeah, huge shout out for that. Definitely remember to get those donations in and support the Equal Justice Initiative, which is just an awesome cause. I was super happy to hear about the charity that y'all chose to support with this marathon, and I'm really glad to have been able to be back and running again. So thank y'all for having me today.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming out.
What's next, chat?
All right, that was an awesome run. Let's give some hype over here from Maniacal42 for a PB run in a marathon, which is incredible, if I do say so myself. But coming up, we are going to have Arcus Odyssey, ran by Manon X88.